The Dallas Cowboys are a marvel of consistency. For 10 of the past 11 years, they've made the playoffs, and 3 times their season ended in the Super Bowl. Each year, a transfusion of new players and new strategies makes their blood boil for yet another championship hunt. And like all hunters, Tom Landry relishes the chase more than the capture.
Well, I don't think I would enjoy my profession if I knew I was always a winner. I think it's really the chase that's important. It's the challenge that you're after, much more than the winning.
For 2 years, the Cowboys' road to an NFC Eastern title had led them through blind alleys of frustration and dead-ended failure. In 1976, the chase was mounted with a wild and woolly harem-scarum offense that stretched the breadth of the field while it girdled the length to 6 points. Dallas could stand toe-to-toe and slug it out, but it was their now you see them, now you don't, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee attack that was their signature. This wonderfully conceived offense spit out 296 points, and as one coach remarked, they come at you in so many ways with so many players that you don't have enough fingers to plug up the dike. If Dallas had as many good players as they have good plays, they would suit up 400 people. And at times they seem to have more players on the field than the rules allow, as their human wave assaults generated a flood tide of easy touchdowns. The Cowboys won 9 of their first 10 games, and it became readily apparent that stopping their drive in the East would be harder than squeezing blood from a stone. The reality was such that Tom Landry's team of marathon men lapped a field of weary foot soldiers slogging on cement legs. Dallas just had more ways to score 6 points than teams had methods to stop them. The Cowboys' wild and woolly style was mind-boggling. So exciting, in fact, that a season ticket bought you a seat you never sat in. The Cowboys captured the East with an 11-3 record, and the future appeared bright indeed. Their first roadblock to Super Bowl 11 was the Rams, a team Dallas had defeated 3 straight times and outscored by more than 2-1. But on December 19th, the hex ended. Los Angeles held on to victory in the final seconds to defeat Dallas 14-12. After so many victories, one loss made a glorious season seem sad and empty. For 43 players, there were no lessons to be learned from this loss, but for one man, defeat has been his greatest teacher.
I think the greatest thing that competitive athletics does for anyone is it teaches him how to meet defeat, not how to meet victory. Because I think that only through defeat is character built. And I think this is the greatest thing that competitive sports do for any youngster or any man. And as I've gone through the game of football through the years, I've been able to cope with the defeats and learn how to overcome them, to endure to the point that you can come back the next time and compete harder.
Two areas where Dallas showed marked improvement were defense and special teams. The defense surrendered just 194 points, and the special teams proved daring and imaginative. Imagination was a friend Herrera, the NFL's most accurate place kicker, punting and nailing down the coffin corner. Against the Cardinals, daring was a fourth down pass from their own 15 by punter Danny White that vaulted the Cowboys out of trouble and into the playoffs. Special team members fly by the seat of their pants. It takes daredevils like return specialist Butch Johnson, number 86, and other young stars such as Saldi, Jensen, Hegman, Rafferty, Edson, Hughes, Reese, and Shawn. Dallas special teams excelled in one area, blocking punts. Men like Thomas Henderson, number 56, and number 1 draft choice Aaron Kyle, number 25, helped Dallas block 7 punts, the most in pro football. It takes special men with a special knack to surrender their bodies and take the ball off a punter's foot. Although 6 points exceeded their grasp, the Cowboys accounted for 3 safeties and a season's worth of thrills and spills. Special teams are a stepping stone where young Cowboys mellow and mature until they finally earn their star on defense. The Doomsday defense is strong and veteran at tackle, where 12-year pro Jethro Pugh and seasoned and steady Larry Cole blend with 6-year Cowboy Bill Gregory. The coach on the field was Leroy Jordan. After 13 years as an all-pro and leader of the defense, Jordan announced his retirement. While the number 55 has been synonymous with excellence, Doomsday enjoyed a mix of budding stars and bona fide all-pros. Linebackers Bob Brunig, Randy White, D.D. Lewis, and Jordan operated behind a flexed front 4. Everyone in the flex had zones of responsibility, and they played it so well that only one running back gained 100 yards against it. The difference between other defenses and Doomsday is the difference between bubble gum and jawbreakers. They sacked quarterbacks 44 times and led them on a rocky road to national embarrassment. In the bewildering scheme of the Dallas defense, the coordination between pass rush and pass coverage means the difference between a sack, an interception, or a touchdown pass. Happily, the Cowboys are blessed with all-pro safeties Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris, and gifted cornerbacks Benny Barnes, Mark Washington, and Mel Renfro. Like the Mounties, the Cowboys always got their man, but in catching the robber, sometimes they dropped the loot. Mistakes were remedied by running through a receiver's numbers or being at the spot when the ball arrives. 2 things Cliff Harris did quite well in 1976. quarterback has to be Sherlock Holmes to solve the mysteries of a secondary that leaves a trail of false leads, smudged clues, and a baffling maze of coverages. By year's end, the secondary, a supposed weakness, turned into a strength, and the deep defense became trusted allies to the big men up front. In football, it's what's up front that counts. There's no one more valued in sport than the good big man. Someone big enough to blot out the sun or cloud a quarterback's vision. At 6'9", 265 pounds, Ed Too Tall Jones is a computer's printout of the ultimate quarterback's nightmare. With each game, more quarterbacks wear Too Tall Jones as part of their uniforms. But while number 72 still grows into an all-pro, number 79 is already one. Harvey Martin has led Dallas in sacks every year he's been a Cowboy. And this season he tacked on 15 more for a career total of 44. His trademark is the outside rush. The Martin equation reads, speed plus head slap equals 250 pounds of squeeze. Against the New York Giants, Harvey took an inside route to pulverize Craig Morton and preserve a last-second victory. To protect a quarterback from Martin, tackles need shackles and ankle bracelets because a firm hold is no guarantee. Number 79 is a tide that keeps rolling in. Because of players like Martin, this defense was one of the best in Cowboy history. It was big, fast, and strong down the stretch. A horse you could ride all the way to the Super Bowl. One would assume that after 17 years of continuous service, Tom Landry's philosophies would ossify like dinosaur bones. Instead, the dean of NFL head coaches remains the most creative strategist in the game.
It looks like confusion to anybody who doesn't know much about the game because it looks like it's just 11 men attacking each other at one time. But as you learn the game, it becomes very scientific, especially in professional football, and becomes very intriguing and exciting.
Landry's offense is a symphony of many movements, with varied soloists playing in team harmony. His ambitious concepts make the Cowboys not only the most entertaining, but the hardest team to prepare for in the game. Critics claim Landry's offense is overly ornamental. Camouflage in this flurry of feints and jabs is a heavyweight right hand under the heart, delivered by running back Scott Laidlaw, Preston Pearson, Doug Dennison, and Robert Newhouse. On the surface, the Cowboy offense is a gingerbread house chock full of goodies and surprises. Underneath, hard leadership is provided by Landry and quarterback Roger Staubach, the conductor through which all the lightning passed.
I'm aggressive to a degree. As a quarterback, you got to keep your poise. You can't get overly emotional because you've got a lot on your mind. You've got to do a lot of things mentally to control the game, but I get very competitive, and where you can't be particularly a nice guy in the field because the aspect of the game and the type of game it is. You've got to be competitive, aggressive, and give everything you have physically.
Always the bullseye for defenses, Roger modified his daring scrambles and invented the Starbuck slide, a device that stole yards and years for his career. This watered-down approach did not drain his natural instincts. Above all, number 12 is a fierce and feared competitor, and his drive and dive for victory eventually proved a stumbling block to Cowboys' hopes for the Super Bowl. Midway through the season, Starbuck tempted Dame Fortune once too often, and for the Dallas Cowboys, the season took an ominous turn. The diagnosis was a fractured fifth metacarpal on his throwing hand. Swaddled in bandages, Roger played on, but not near as effectively. Through 7 weeks, his 70% completion average and a volley of touchdowns with few interceptions gave him the highest quarterback efficiency rating in history. Starbuck was willing, but not as able. Teams that once swooned before this wild and woolly team now got up and danced on it. Their running game, once so valued, was kidnapped, ransomed, and never returned. The Cowboys tried varied rushing combinations to pep up their attack, but in effect they were hamstrung by injuries to Robert Newhouse. Without his primary back, Starbuck was forced to rely heavily on the trusty shotgun, a passing formation that the Cowboys embellished with some new twists. Surprise runs by a back like Charles Young adds to the shotgun's firepower, but its true worth lies in its ability to shoot 5 potential receivers quickly and cleanly into the passing lanes. The shotgun is indispensable in beating the clock by moving the ball surely and certainly and using the sidelines. It can also spray out long-range touchdowns with a pull of its trigger. Formations and quarterbacks are worthless without a core of receivers with a knack for the end zone. Pro Bowler Billy Joe Dupree caught more passes than any tight end in the NFC, and Swift Golden Richards averaged over 21 yards a catch. The best of the best was Drew Pearson, the NFC's leading receiver and the favorite subject of Roger Starbuck.
Drew Pearson and I, of course, have we've had a very good rapport together. It started in that off season. We just worked out when he was a free agent, and we've got a lot of confidence in each other. And that's the big thing for a receiver and a quarterback, believing in each other. When you do that, you know, you go to each other in a clutch. And Drew has been our clutch receiver, and I go to him when we're in trouble, when we're not in trouble. And I just believe he's going to make the play, and he believes I'm going to try and get him the ball some way, and he's going to do everything he can to make the play for me. And it's a rapport, it's a confidence in each other, and it starts in the huddle when we break the huddle, and we go from there.
Number 88 is the dance master. With every step, every cut, he reads and reacts to coverage. Pearson runs stopwatch perfect sideline patterns and is utterly without fear over the middle. One coach aptly described Pearson's smooth, unhurried stride and ability to maneuver by saying, he's like an Indian running through the forest at night. Ram coach Chuck Knox said it simply and better with one word: sweet.
It's just hard to put your hand on exactly why he makes the big plays, but he does. And there's certain athletes that do it, and Drew Pearson's one of them.
Webster's Collegiate Dictionary defines clutch as, number 1, hands in the act of seizing, grasping, or holding. Of Drew Pearson's 58 receptions, few came very easy. Number 2, clutch, a tight or crucial situation. Pearson scored 8 touchdowns, most in desperate situations. 7 of them came receiving, the other by doing what came naturally. Number 3, clutch, a receiver named Drew Pearson. There is a fever at Texas Stadium where every Sunday offers a season's worth of excitement. The Dallas Cowboys are a team of enduring traditions. Dominant defense, explosive offense, and superior coaching. It is a team that does not dream of championships, but expects them. A team of captains and kings, Starbucks and Pearsons, and the men that make it all work. Fitzgerald, Nye, Lawless, Scott, Neely, Wright, and Donovan. They are solid and deep at every position, rich in young talent and unfailingly unpredictable. They are the wild and woolly Dallas Cowboys, the most exciting team in pro football.